Welcome back in to another episode of the Nightly Pick here on Foolish Club Media. I am Steven Serda. Big O, Osita, hanging with me another night. No Ron Hughley. He is.
We don't need no Ron Hughley.
Still on vacation.
So he says.
Oh, he's been sending us pictures for the
Yeah.
last 12 hours, and
That could all be AI and green screen. Could all be a lie.
it's took a picture of a pool and said he was
Plenty
going to
of
get
pools
in
everywhere.
trouble there, and I don't know if he's trying to rub it in. I feel like he traveled very far to another country to just be sitting at a pool that he could be sitting at anywhere. I feel like there's got to be cooler things to do there than sit at a pool all day. But who am I to judge how someone chooses to spend their vacations, Osita?
I still don't know where Aruba is. I just know it from the
I
Beach
don't
Boys
either.
song. Like it's like Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda. That's all I know. I imagine it's somewhere near Jamaica and Bermuda and Bahamas, but I don't really know where Aruba is.
I don't think I want to know. I think I'm fine just not knowing and wondering.
Hey, life has to have a little bit of mystery to it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
This is
totally
one of them.
agree. But we do have another fun show planned for you guys tonight. We are one day away from the NBA Finals.
Yeah, Halle Bam,
Pacers,
baby.
Thunder. See how this thing shakes out on Thursday night. But other than that, not really a lot going on in the sports world. So I think we're going to take some detours tonight and just talk about things that I feel like I've wanted to talk about for a while. I just don't have anybody else to talk to them about for the most part. And so I've had all these opinions building up inside of me, and I'm just going to make you guys listen to it tonight on the Nightly Fix because we're in charge.
Or is it because Ron is trying to keep you down and he won't let you talk about the things that you want to talk about? And he's just like, no, we got to talk about the Chiefs. We got to talk about sports. We got to talk about LeBron all fucking day.
Well,
you know what I mean?
He's
But
not.
we
in
have
charge
other
of
interests.
me. He's not in charge of me. I am technically in charge of everything here at Foolish Club Media. So really, I make the decisions.
Hey.
But it's also, it's catering to our audience. And so some of it is Chiefs stuff and some of it's football and sports. But we're navigating the intersection of sports and pop culture right now, especially because it's not football season. And there's no reason for us to force feed you football talk. I know there's lots of people that want that, and we still give you that plenty here on Foolish Club Media. But on the Nightly Fix, we get to do a little bit of everything. And that's the glory of us being on so late at night, is that we're a little bit more uncensored. We're a little bit more unfiltered and talk about and go places that we might not necessarily go at noon on a Tuesday. So I'm excited about tonight's show. I think we've got a lot of interesting things to talk about.
Real quick,
it is a Wednesday.
We forgot one quick thing. Nightly Fix, guys. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Foolish Club Media.
Yeah.
If you don't, I'm gonna give you a Charlie horse that you will never recover from.
Like a wet willy, whichever one bothers you.
Just a wet willy with this that's been, with the wettest willy. Just the wettest, just
like no tongue, but like as wet as you could possibly get a finger.
Oh god.
Someone's ear. So that is a threat. 100% if you do not like and subscribe. So please go do that for us. We're growing, still doing these shows every night, seeing a great return on our investment. So we appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us.
ROI's high, baby. ROI's high.
It is Wednesday, so I had to watch the movie Fresh. So we do have a black movie review tonight. I squeezed it. Like you would have been so impressed with today. Today, Wednesday is one of my absolute busiest days of like, I get up, immediately go to work, and I am busy all day long, all night long, and then come here and do this show. And I was literally doing 5 different things today while I was watching Fresh. Like, while I was sitting on my computer, I was still locked into Fresh, paying very close attention to it so I could talk about it and have a valid opinion about it tonight. But it went down to the wire, to the absolute last minute that I could another obligation. Like, I took it right down to the buzzer, but I got it done. And so I'm excited to talk about that a little bit later in the show. But kind of what I was alluding to a few minutes ago, and what I've really been wanting to talk about for a while now, is this art versus AI conversation that is happening a lot these days. Because Osita, I know you use AI. I know you're a fan of it. I
It's
know
interesting. It's fun.
that you're okay with what it does to the world and how it jeopardizes things. So we could, talk. So we could just have questions answered immediately when we want them answered, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with any of that. But I have gone out of my way to really not use AI that much. And I did just get a new iPhone recently, and it's got like the AI setting on it, like, but you have to set it up. And I have just refused to set it up because I don't want to use it. And I know it's probably stunting to me as an individual to refuse to use it because everybody's using it, and it's inevitably going to be something that winds up being a tool that people probably need to function, similar to the way iPhones took over the world. And like, now you just can't function in modern society without having some kind of smartphone. AI is probably trending in that kind of direction, but I'm going to continue and hold off to refuse it for as long as I can out of principle, and specifically because I don't like what it's doing to like art and entertainment right now, where there's this whole idea, and we're seeing it across all industries. It's not just art and entertainment, but specifically here, where it's like, you don't have to read anymore. You could just ask everything that you need to know. Why would you ever want to write anything innovative or creative or thought-provoking or something the world's never seen before? Because you could just type in what you want to an AI generator and it'll do it for you. And you don't have to animate and create and paint and do all of this stuff now. And so people that are lacking in artistic creativity are just like, look at all the amazing art that I make now. And it's like, well, you didn't do that. That's clearly AI. And that's where like that's my biggest gripe about all of it. And my biggest refusal to use it is really just kind of that. And I'm not sitting here trying to be like some art snob, like I'm some super creative person, but it's more like principally as someone who loves art, who loves creative thought process, who loves going places that I've never been before when reading or going to the movies or experiencing things in real life, as opposed to just generating things online and being like, look at this, no person could ever do this, even though that's actually not true. Like, I just principally as a person, I have a hard time like siding with people who are okay with it trying to replace, like, in my opinion, the best parts about living.
Okay, here's my take on AI and creativity in general. I feel like with all art forms, new technology is always frowned upon at the beginning, and because it just depends on how you use said new technology. We both watched that movie, A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan movie, in which it talks about him at the what was it, Newport Jazz Festival, and the first time that he really got into using electric guitars rather than the old style of folk where he was just like playing acoustic.
Yeah. Newport
and
Festival.
Newport, yeah, sorry, but there is a jazz
like
festival,
electric.
right?
Yes, but they did not
Yeah.
like electronic instruments at that particular.
Yeah, and so I was thinking about that today because I was at the record store and I saw a copy of Electric Muddy Waters' first electric, guitar album, which, it was a very transformative album for rock and roll in general, right? So I feel like technology at the beginning, there's always like a little bit of hesitation for it to be used. But later on, when you start seeing the adaptations, the ways that people start to use that technology, it becomes more commonplace. As far as like AI goes, it is only as strong as the prompt that it's given. It cannot create on its own. It's always going to take some sort of human input to create something. So whether that human input is just an idea that needs to be fleshed out, or a series of words, or maybe if it's making music, it's like, hey, I want a scale. I want you to use a certain like Mixolydian scale or something like that, and I want it to feel like this. It's still human input. It can't run on its own. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, yes, there is something to be said for the lack of creativity, like the lack of just like general thought that goes into it, and the fact that yes, kids are using it to write essays, and yes, they're using it to rewrite their resume, and instead of using any sort of critical thinking skills, they're just kind of using it as a huge crutch, and it could become something that that hinders them in the long run. But it's I don't know. It's just it still takes that human input. It's still, I don't know. I mean, I like it. I use it.
No, and I totally agree. And like I think there is uses for it. Like I'm not saying it's a totally useless thing. Like I think there is things that you could literally change the world with AI in certain ways. But it's just like I'm totally fine with movies and TV shows. Like I don't even really necessarily have an issue with them doing it for like mundane things, like using it for things that just nobody likes doing. Like, hey, just throw that into an AI so nobody has to deal with it. We don't have to waste time on it.
Yeah.
It's more of like the eliminating jobs. And now what we're seeing with companies like a Lionsgate head, like studio head, said they could use AI to make $100 million for $100 million movie for $50 million now, and they can use it to adjust movie ratings and convert live action into animation. And we could say now make it an anime and then release it that way to try to like make more money, because they're not the people that are actually creating art. And that's the problem, is that the people that are in charge of all of these businesses and profit shares and shareholders and everything like that, they're only looking at dollars and cents. So they're like, oh, you mean we can eliminate all of the important people that are behind the scenes actually like creating all of this stuff and do it for cheap, and then we get bigger bonuses, and we can try to do it in a way that is cost effective to where we would get like dramatically more return on our investment, as opposed to spending $150 million on making a movie, and then we also have to spend $100 million on advertising a movie, and then it's like we're $250 million in the hole before it's ever seen on a movie screen. Like,
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff that bothers me. Like that's the kind of stuff that I have real issues with. It's not really like the mundane tasks. It's not asking AI questions and stuff on Twitter or Chat GBT or whatever it is. And I don't even have a problem with kids cheating at school on it, though. I would like to see them make it through school the way that I had to, where you just had to figure it out as you went along.
Hey, well, if we had to make it through school the way our parents had to, you know what I mean, and the way their parents had to, we would have to walk, uphill and downhill in a snowstorm and a hailstorm just to make it to school. You know what I mean? Like life is just going to get necessary. I mean, life is just going to get easier for people. That's just kind of how it goes. But from what I'm hearing, it seems to me that you just don't like the capitalistic gain that can happen from the use of AI. Is that what I'm hearing? Am I correct in that assumption?
Well, yes. And like the last writer's strike, the big thing was, use of AI, use of individuals, because like they were literally part of a big thing in the new collective bargaining agreement between the Writers Guild and the TV and movie studios, was that like they were trying to take scans of people, and not even necessarily like, like massive movie stars, because you're never going to get them to allow you to do that. But basically like, this actor who was an extra in this thing and then maybe one day hits it big. Like they were basically saying, like, if you sign on to be an extra in this thing, we're going to scan your body and we now have the rights to put you into anything that we want for nothing.
So you can be an extra once and then just be an extra for the rest of your life, pretty much.
Then,
just never get paid again.
Yeah, and then maybe you actually do like hit it big as a real actor one day, but all of a sudden you see yourself like in a commercial or something that this company just threw you in as an AI generated person because you got scanned one time 20 years ago, and then you never see $1 for it. Like that's messed up.
I will say this whole Google VO, and like, trust me, I played around with it. Google VO is fucking terrifying. The things it can create, that video AI engine is insane, and there needs to be some sort of cap on it because it is going to be harder and harder. I mean, it's not going to be harder and harder because I feel like the ways that people are using it now, like it almost, you can tell it's AI because it almost just seems like too clean or something like that. You know what I mean? But like if they're not careful, like it's going to be really hard to find the difference between like real content and fake content. And I mean, real content, I mean, you have to use that in air quotes anyway, because I've seen like videos of kids jamming in a garage and stuff like that was definitely shot on a soundstage, you know? So what is real? But dude, Google VO is terrifying what you can make, and people are automatically using it for like for rage bait purposes, like as the internet does in true internet fashion. They're just immediately trying to make things to piss people off, and then they're just like, hey, I use this to piss people off, and I make $60,000 a week with it. So now they're going to the guru route with it as well. It's fucking, internet's a crazy thing, dude. It's a crazy place.
And I see all those videos, and I don't trust like any of these online people that are like making those kinds of videos, like make this 20 grand a month side hustle and do this and do that. And I'm just like, there's just no way. I don't believe you. Like,
The side hustle is selling the videos. That's how the game's always been played, dude. It's the videos that you make trying to get suckers to that is the side hustle.
And like, so I have you watched Mountainhead yet?
No, not yet.
So it's new movie on Max from the writer and director of Succession.
Oh, is that out? Is that the is that the one where the it's like a comedy, right?
So it's like 4 billionaires at this like remote mountain lodge, and like the world's kind of unraveling around them while they're just at this like insane house out in the middle of nowhere in Montana, like being shitty billionaires to each other. And so, I mean, perfect person to write it after Succession, like perfect person to make this kind of movie. And in this particular time, like it was very just like, oh man, so this is just like happening right now. And it was really just about AI and the capitalists and their point of view on like why it's changing the world. And a lot of that is like, oh, you'll get left behind if you're not willing to grow and do this and do that. But then it's like the ethical stuff of like this billionaire tech social media platform guy unleashes this AI onto the world with no filter and no restraints. And then all of a sudden
okay, don't ruin it, because I want to watch it. I want to watch it.
But
I definitely want to watch it tonight.
It's really great, and I don't think I would ruin it by explaining some of that stuff, because it definitely goes a way that like you're just not expecting at all. But it is really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny too. But that kind of spurred some of this stuff, and then Natasha Lyonne, who is in the graphic for the video audience, like I really like her. She's the star of Poker Face on Peacock. If any of you have seen it, I really enjoy the show. It was created by Ryan Johnson. I love Ryan Johnson's work. I think he's great at everything that he does. But she recently started an AI company that is going to make like AI short movies and things like that. Or she didn't start it, but she signed on to partner with it, and she's making she's basically like funding like an AI production studio. And so
Wow.
there's a lot of backlash about it because it's like, what are you doing? And like, and also like you're the star of a show that's like one of the best writer directors alive right now. And that dude would not like do this. And so she's come under fire a lot. And it just like, because I've been thinking about it a lot because it's like I really like Poker Face and I'm watching the new season right now. And like I can't stop thinking about the AI thing while I'm watching the
Yeah.
show to the point where it's like bothering me while I'm watching the show.
Dude, she's a capitalist just like the rest of them, damn it.
Yeah.
I mean that's crazy. It's a weird intersection because like for her specifically, like I'm sure she would hate if someone took her likeness and then threw it into an AI generator and then created something, if she had sold her likeness away at a very young age or something like that, and then,
Yeah.
just completely got screwed that way. But it seems like she's just trying to get on top of it, and make the money while she can. I guess that's wild. That like I didn't know where you were going with the whole Natasha Lyonne thing. I didn't know that she did that. That's kind of fucking crazy. I have a really good friend that is super into her as an actress, and I cannot wait to get off of this podcast to tell her this and see what her thoughts are, because I know she's gonna freak the fuck out. That's crazy.
And she's really coming under a lot of fire for it right now. And like I respect her as an actress too. I think she's done a lot of great stuff. And I'm just like super conflicted about it. And really all of this stuff. And so, yes, I think it's important to adapt and grow with the world as the world changes. And we get new tools and technologies that try to make life easier. But also, I think it's important to still like weigh the like cost benefit of it all. And that's really what I'm grappling with when it comes to this stuff. But and we can move past the AI talk now. I think I said my piece on all of it. And
you feel better?
Yes, I do. I've been
good?
wanting to have this conversation for a while now. I really have, because this is something that's been on my mind a lot. I think about this like daily now, because everybody's out here trying to push AI on me, and I feel like I'm like one of the grandpas who's still like, no, I don't need to use that. I'm a smart person. I can read, like I can figure it out on my own. Like, and there's just a lot of people that are going to being a lot more efficient at things than me at some point because of my refusal to do that. And so,
hey, you will be the last man standing, and that's okay. That's
yeah,
okay, Serda. Somebody has to be that guy. It's not gonna be me, but someone has to be that guy.
And I even do still like use it like a little bit. Like I don't use ChatGPT, but we have this clips function in our video that I can just generate these automatic clips, then go in and pull small ones that I think like, oh, this one makes sense, this one makes sense. And so it takes a lot of time out of me having to go like timestamp something, go cut it out of the long form video, then save that and then upload that. And like it literally saves me an hour of work in the middle.
Hypocrisy. Thy name is Steven Serda.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's
all right.
That's
cool.
That's as far as I've reached over the line so far when it comes to artificial intelligence. But yes, I do feel better now that I got that off my chest. But we can get into a sports conversation here really quick. And I really just wanted to ask Osita about this, because Osita, new sports fan overall, even though he does know baseball in a way that Rod Hughley will never
understand. He will never understand baseball the way that I understand it.
Just coming into it in the modern day and just consuming it and the way that he has is just like unlike anything I've ever seen. Ron will just never know. But so Sam Darnold, do you know who Sam Darnold is? Have you heard of Sam Darnold? Like, are you familiar with the name in any way, Osita?
No.
So Sam Darnold is a former top 5 draft pick drafted by the New York Jets, was seen as like one of the bigger busts of, though actually the quarterback that they wound up drafting after him, Zach Wilson, was a much more dramatic bust than Sam Darnold ever was. But so drafted top 5 by the New York Jets several years ago, and was thought of as like, a top quarterback prospect at the time, and thought of as like kind of like a can't miss type of player. winds up failing and inevitably being traded away from the New York Jets. Part of it is because the Jets are a dumpster fire of an organization. But so then Darnold bounces around the league for a couple of years until last season he finds his way to the Minnesota Vikings, which the Minnesota Vikings, their head coach, Kevin O'Connell, is one of the best play callers in all of the NFL. But so Darnold, and also they have the Minnesota Vikings have some of the best weapons in all of the NFL, like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. Like their group of pass catchers is absolutely tremendous to go along with one of the absolute best offensive minds in all of the league. And Sam Darnold goes absolutely insane last season and led the Vikings to the second best record in the NFL, throws for 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns, easily the best season of his career. And it's not even close. Like that's literally like double what he had ever put up in any single season prior to last season. But then what happened with Sam Darnold was he immediately gets the Vikings to the playoffs. He immediately turns into the Sam Darnold that everyone knows and cannot function when the lights are too bright, and the Vikings get bounced in their first playoff game because Sam Darnold totally falls apart and they just get decimated. So instead of re-signing Sam Darnold, the Vikings let him walk. He goes to Seattle, who needs a starting quarterback, and Seattle, because this is the price of doing business with quarterbacks in the NFL, signs him to a 3-year, $100 million contract. And then they draft in the third round Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe, who is considered like a project quarterback, but like super athletic, young QB with like upside potential if he develops in the right way. And Seattle certainly does not have the kinds of weapons or offensive coaching staff that the Vikings had last season. Yeah. And so there's been a lot of speculation about like Darnold, and obviously they paid him this kind of money, but then Mike McDonald, the head coach, was asked in a radio interview today about whether or not Sam Darnold was going to be their starter. And he definitively said, because he's getting annoyed with it because this isn't the first time he's been asked this offseason. He said, "No, you guys are crazy. I respect that you've got to ask it, but it's just a crazy question. It's just not going to happen. Sam's our starting quarterback. We love him. He's doing a tremendous job." But if I'm Mike McDonald, who is heading into, I think, year 3 as, or maybe it's year number 2 as a Seattle Seahawks head coach, like you just paid this dude $100 million. So obviously you expect him to be the starter, but I would also be like, there's probably a reason that everyone is wondering why maybe he shouldn't be our starter, because he's literally been awful his entire career, except for one season last year where he had some of the best group of skill players in all of the NFL. It went absolutely insane. And that's literally the only season in his career where he's done anything close to that.
So what's your question for me?
I guess it's just like, I mean, what are your thoughts on the Sam Darnold situation? Because it is ridiculous. And I think we see teams do this a lot, like when they're desperate for quarterbacks across the NFL. Like they sign guys to bad contracts for way more money than they're worth. And this has all the makings of all of that. Like, I'm not rooting against Sam Darnold, but this is like a get your coach fired type of decision when you give a guy like him 3 years for $100 million.
I mean, maybe they got a Nico on their team. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a Nico at the head that's just fucking things up purposefully, you know? And I honestly don't know, man, because I mean, you said that when he was playing for the Vikings, he ran under like one of the best like offensive coordinators and stuff like that, and like had a really strong offensive team. Maybe he learned a few things, you know, maybe he just can't, you know, maybe he's not really good under pressure in like a playoff situation. Maybe he's just going to be there as like what do y'all call him? A bridge quarterback for this third round draft pick that they got. Yes. Maybe that's the plan, you know? But whether or not, you know, he should be starting, I mean, if you pay him that much money, you might as well put the fucker up. Give him 3 years for $100,000. You might, I mean, for $100 million, you might as well use him, you know? Ride him to the fucking wheels fall off, dude.
He's certainly gonna have a chance. I just think it's funny that the coach like has to address this like all off season just because they drafted a guy in the 3rd round. But no, I mean, it's obviously he's going to be the starting quarterback. It would be really funny if Jalen Milroe winds up taking his job like at a training camp or something like that. Also, Seattle's offensive line is way worse than the Vikings, so that's going to be something. They have to.
So Darnold's finna get hit quite a bit, huh?
Yes, which he has been very bad under pressure, but I'm trying to think of a way to transition out of this, and I don't really have one, to be totally honest with you. So we're just going to take a quick timeout, and then when we get back, we'll wrap things up, get to a heat check, get to Black Movie Review, and anything else that we feel like talking about here on the Nightly Fix. We're hanging in strong on the Nightly Fix. As I was pondering the previous topic through the commercial break, Osita, I feel like I really hung you out to dry because obviously you didn't have any opinion or anything to say about Sam Darnold. And then I was also asking myself, I really didn't have anything to say about Sam Darnold. I was kind of just
You
rambling
just wanted to
along
shit.
through all
You
of
just
that.
wanted to shit on the coach,
Yeah.
dude. Like you were just like, you know
Yeah.
what? Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. Fuck that team. Fuck the Seahawks. They're gonna go down. That's all you really wanted to say, right?
Yeah, I guess that's all I had. I don't know. Do I just really not like Sam Darnold? Like, am I just mad that he signed a $100 million contract?
I think that's what it is. I mean, I
Yeah,
would be too. Like, honestly, if he doesn't deserve that type of money, like he hasn't really proven himself to get that type of money, it's just kind of like, why are we making these decisions?
yeah.
Why is this happening?
He did have a really good year last year. He is not going to have that good of a year in Seattle this year. It's just not
You
going
never
to
know.
happen.
Maybe I'll throw him on as my quarterback for fantasy, and we'll see what happens.
I actually had him in a fantasy league last year because he was good enough to like be a fantasy starter for a lot of the season. So he would be a great late round quarterback, probably like as your backup quarterback. I wouldn't want him being my starting quarterback going into the season. But
no.
I am really excited to talk about Fresh, but we got to get to a heat check before we do that.
See, again, I feel like you didn't necessarily give the heat check the respect it deserves. Like you were just kind of like, I want to talk about Fresh, but I guess we got to get into a heat check. Like that's like,
I feel like that's exactly how Ron does it. He's just like, all right, let's get to the heat check.
Yeah, he
Like,
does
that's
kind
all
of
he
say it with
does.
that, like, we're just gonna let this guy talk now, kind of vibe. You know, hey, y'all hired me. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why y'all hired me, but y'all hired me. So it is what it is. It's your fault, if anything. All right. So for today's heat check, guys, I want to talk about the male loneliness epidemic. They say that we are having an epidemic of men who don't necessarily have friends, or they feel like they don't have close friends that they can confide in. And luckily, we have the technology to fix said problem. And Dr. Squatch and Sydney Sweeney have teamed together to make a bar of soap made from her bathwater, guys. I feel like Sydney Sweeney's bathwater soap is probably the greatest mental health breakthrough for men since the invention of a PlayStation. I mean, let's be honest. We've been in that chokehold called the male loneliness epidemic for years now, and we tried everything. We tried therapy, it's expensive. We tried group chats, they die. We tried emotional vulnerability, no thank you, and nothing's worked out. So, until the beautiful Sydney Sweeney said, "What if I just gave you my literal bath water in a bar of soap?" And just like that, Dr. Squatch and Dr. Freud pretty much became Dr. Seuss with a pine-scented suds. It's the first time in history that skincare has come with emotional support. You know, one wash, and men are suddenly making eye contact again. Another wash, they're drinking more water. Another wash, maybe they're texting their mom back. You know, Dr. Squash didn't just release a soap. They bottled up hope and sudsy self-worth, and the closest thing to a girlfriend experience that is legally allowed by the FDA. Sorry, guys, but we are officially in the golden age of the simp renaissance, and our day of reckoning will be June 6th when this bar of soap comes out. I don't know why y'all want to buy her bath water. Technically, it's a dirty bar of soap. It doesn't make any sense to me because bath water is inherently dirty, but we're going to put the dirty water into something that's supposed to clean you. Nothing makes sense anymore. This is where we're at.
How much does it cost?
Maybe like $10. I don't know, dude. I have no
I
clue. I'm not,
Isn't there like a
I
I think there's only like a certain number of them or something. That's
yeah,
like the big
it's
deal
like
to make it like an exclusive thing.
it's 5,000 of them apparently is what they're making.
Um, well, I mean, I feel like you really shit on it at the end there, but the first half of it was just an advertisement to buy it about
Yeah,
how
I
it was
mean,
going to cure male
well,
loneliness.
because I want to point out how fucking ridiculous it is that they think that they can just bottle up someone's bodily their osmosis water into a bar form and then just like sell it to these people. And the fact is, it's going to sell. That's the thing. That's the scary part. In this day of extreme fandom, extreme celeb culture, people are going to buy this and covet it like it's the fucking Ark of the Covenant, dude. Like it's going to be like a huge thing for people, and it's gonna sell out in minutes. I already know that. It's gonna sell out
Oh,
faster than any Jordans, any record release,
yeah.
anything, dude. You know, like 5,000 gonna be gone like that, and they're gonna make all their fucking money back times 10.
I have no doubt because they've made it like an exclusive thing. Like, yeah, like you can't just put this on the shelf at Walmart. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's it's an exclusive thing that people are gonna like brag about. Like the day that those get shipped out, like there's gonna be some douchey YouTuber like on his channel, like unboxing his Sydney Sweeney bathwater soap. like
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
100% going to happen. Yeah, I mean, it's gross too. I don't know,
It's
I've
dirty.
I've
It's
never been that
dirty
kind of
water.
person too that, like, gets that invested, in, like, celebrity that I would, like, ever, like, run to buy something like that,
I will say so. There's been two things as of recently that I've been interested in, like their auctions, and it's David Lynch and Steve Albini. Like, so since they both passed, people, I guess, like their estates have posted, like Steve Albini has a website where you can buy like some of his old records and stuff like that, and stuff is actually pretty affordable, and some of them are just like really rare records and really cool effects pedals and just different things for mixing music and shit like that. And for David Lynch, it'll be like you can buy actually some of his old records, some of his old VHSs. You can buy old scripts from him, his old
Yeah.
walkie, shit like that. So stuff like that, I'm just like things like that are like relics, in my opinion. I kind of agree with, but this thing where it's like, I'm not the type to buy like a cologne because it's sponsored by this person, you know what I mean? Or like tequila because it's Megan the Stallion's tequila. I don't give a shit about any of that. But like things that like people own that are cool, I guess, in my opinion, which is cool is completely subjective, but like that stuff I'm into.
Yeah. David Lynch's stuff would be really cool. To like own something from him. Yeah, because he's somebody like I love his work and I like respect him as a writer and director. And he was always somebody that like in Hollywood, like like always marched to the beat of his own drum and like didn't give a fuck about like making money and like churning out like popular things. He was always just making his art the way that he wanted to make it. It was something that I always respected a lot about David Lynch. I think
He
the
was
only thing
definitely
recently,
he was definitely the weirdest dude in Hollywood, which is saying
yeah,
something.
he's definitely weird. He's definitely made a
Yeah.
lot of weird movies, but
Oh, for sure. Love him though.
I think the only thing recently that I was like, I have to have it, and I didn't buy it right away, and then it sold out, and I regretted it afterwards. There was like when Dune 2 came out, there was
Mhm.
like this custom like sandworm, Shai Hulud like bookend set
Oh, nice.
that was like $95, and I was like,
Ooh.
"No, you can't buy it. You can't spend
Yeah.
$95 on it." And then I like slept on it, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna buy it." And I went back,
Yeah.
and they were sold out, and they were like limited editions. Like, can't get them anymore. I was devastated.
I mean, you could probably find them on eBay, but I do feel your pain. You don't know this about me, but I have an addiction to buying bootleg t-shirts. So t-shirts for bands that are now defunct, or maybe like, old pressings of like badass tour shirts. Like there's like certain bootleg websites that you can go to, and these people will only do a small run, because if they do anything longer than just like a weekend run, they'll get a cease and desist almost immediately, right?
Yeah,
So whenever they post something on this website, I'm immediately, if I like it, I'm just like, I have to get it, because like, it's not going to be here after Monday. After Monday, it's gone, and then I'll never get a chance to get that Steve
yeah.
Albini big black shirt or that spiritualized shirt, or like, what am I going to do without it? Like, so I feel your pain completely, wholeheartedly on that.
So I do that at the fish lot at shows, but Fish Fish doesn't send their fans cease and desist notice because
Yeah,
those people just travel around all summer and follow
yeah,
them everywhere. And
yeah.
so on a fish lot, it's literally just all like tents and tents of people selling bootleg fish t-shirts, but they just don't give a shit. And so they just let
Bootleg fish
everybody do
t-shirts and
it.
nitrous and bootleg
Yes.
t-shirts all day,
And
dude.
and that's I don't know when at music festivals we just decided that the like 10 feet wide balloons of nitrous are acceptable. Like
Dude,
it used to
they're
just
just
be
dragging
regular.
them. They're dragging
Yeah,
them across like that.
it used to just be regular sized balloons, and the last few years, every time I go to a big like festival style show, the
Yeah,
balloons are just bigger and bigger. Like they're half the
yeah,
size of a car now.
yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Hey, just see someone. Yeah, I know this is crazy,
Yeah.
dude. Oh, that's so fucking funny, man. Did you see that thing I sent you, the fish thing, like right
I don't
before show?
know.
It's like a
I
Key and Peele
don't think
skit.
so.
Watch it
Oh,
later. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't check it out. I'll have to check that out after
yeah.
the
It's
show.
literally. It's funny that you mentioned fish, because I sent that to you like right beforehand. All
Oh,
right.
well, all right. Let's do
Is it
it.
time for Black Movie Review?
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right.
Kick
All
it
right.
off.
Okay. Black Movie Review. Black Movie Review. Black Movie Review. Black Movie Review with Steven Serda. See, it's so much better when I do it by myself.
Yeah, that was
It's so much
beautiful.
better.
That
Ron
was
just
really
ruins it. Ron, you ruin it. If you're watching this, you ruin it every time. You're always pitchy, always a little off. It's fucking ridiculous, and I hate it. All right, so
Hughley steps all over it, I feel like.
every time, dude, every time. I just try to shine a little bit, try to spread my wings, and there he is, just being a fucking flycatcher, a butterfly catcher. It's fucking ridiculous. I hate it. All right, let's go. Fresh.
So,
Watch the movie Fresh.
Fresh, 1994. Not to be mistaken for the Hulu movie with Sebastian Stan that was made a couple years ago and Daisy Edgar Jones called Fresh, which is also a good movie if you haven't seen it.
I have not.
But this is the 1994 version of Fresh, totally different movie, and I fucking loved this movie.
Yeah,
Like I
knew you
really,
would.
really loved it.
I knew
Like
you
I
would.
don't like this is the first one I think where I'm like, I feel like this could have been like nominated for something. Like it's really, really good. And I feel like it was like probably like even like a little bit ahead of its time. Because in the early 90s there was some movies where they were like, how far can we push the limits for kids? Like, let's see how far we can go with children.
Yeah, and then Harmony Korine stepped on the scene and fucked it up for everybody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
and this is like one of those movies where I feel like small budget movie, like didn't make a ton of money at the box office or anything like that, but like it's obviously a cult classic because it's a great movie. It's really well directed, it's really well acted, it's really well written, like, and there's like supporting characters all over the place in this movie that are stepping up and just doing like incredible jobs. Like I really loved this movie. Sean Nelson, the guy that plays Fresh, like he was amazing. Like from the start, it's all centered around him, and he carries the entire movie. And that's with guys like Samuel L. Jackson and Giancarlo Esposito having like major roles in this thing, and this kid carries this entire thing like out of the gate.
yeah. And to be fair, this is before Giancarlo was like huge.
Still
or
very
like
early,
that.
but like
Still very
he had
early,
been in
but
like he had been like Spike Lee movies though. Like it was very early in
yeah.
his career. Like
Yeah.
it was, it was amazing. Like and like so like early on, like right out of the gate, like you know what he's doing. Like obviously he's like a drug runner for local drug lord or whatever. And so he's like in the mix right away. And he's like, trying to go pick up the bags and drop them off and like get to school. And he's like, I'm late. I gotta go to school. I gotta go to school. And they obviously like are taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And then it just like the way that it spirals from there. So his friend, I don't remember his friend that winds up never getting killed. He deserved
Chucky.
it. He deserved it. Like,
yeah, Chucky the entire time was like, man, I see you got money.
Yeah.
I want money. I want to get money like you, man. What are we doing? How are we getting money? It's just like, damn, dude, why'd you got to put Chucky in the mix like that, bro? Like, you obviously knew he couldn't handle that shit.
But then as soon as he did it, he was running around telling everybody like, "Oh, I'm big baller. Like, I'm making money now." I was like, "You haven't even done anything yet.
Yeah,
you just went and met the dude." And he was literally like, "Go sit in the other room. Like you're a fucking idiot."
Yeah.
Like it was just insane. So there's a couple of moments in this movie that are like really uncomfortable too. So the basketball court shooting was
that was rough.
Straight up devastating. Like I was like, because at first like it just shows like it's like, oh, like how stupid like this idiot drug dealer like just shoots this kid because this kid just like made him look like a fool and like tripped him up, like taking him to the hole and shoots him, kills him. But then this girl that's like got a crush on Fresh and Fresh has a crush on her. And it slowly pans to like her feet and you're like, oh no.
I know.
It's so brutal. And there's a couple other moments in this movie that are just like devastating that I was like literally like I kind of want to fast forward through this because it's like making me emotional almost.
The shit with the sister was rough, dude.
Yeah,
shit with this, like the whole thing with the sister and the other drug dealer dude. Like it's like, yo, dude, and he's just kind of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's not much he can do about it.
And then
Like,
like Giancarlo Esposito, like when he's talking to Fresh about his sister, and he's like,
yeah,
I like normal chicks, but also I like it when they like to dabble in the smack every now and then. And like
yeah,
and then he like explains like basically just like how he wants to bang his sister, but does it in just like the creepiest way, like
no,
directly to this
yeah,
poor kid. Like
yeah,
he was like Giancarlo Esposito, who obviously like incredible actor, has been an incredible actor for like 30 years. Like he's great in this movie too. Like he's a total scumbag the entire time.
yeah.
I'm like, God, he is playing a scumbag so
He
goddamn
channeled
well.
some dark shit in that movie, dude. Some
Yeah.
dark shit. All right,
And
let's see. What was the standout point for you? Like what was like your favorite scene, I guess?
I think it's I really, really liked the ending. Because like, the back half of the movie is basically him like kind of is fresh. So Samuel L. Jackson is his father who
Mhm.
he's like separated from. He's like in a group home, and like he has to sneak out to go see him because obviously he's like not supposed to spend time with him or something. Like he's been separated in some form or fashion by the state, I would assume. But he sneaks out to play chess with him because he's like a speed chess like master or whatever. So he kind of learns that, and so the premise was like he uses like the strategy of chess to kind of figure out how to try to like fix the situation that his
How to
sister's in, and
navigate the
like get
entire
him
thing.
and get himself out from underneath all of this.
Yeah.
And it is really smart. It is there's like a little like kind of like loose end clipping where it's kind of like I felt like they kind of like it may be like a little bit of a stretch, but it was just like I was fine with all of it. But then like the ending in the movie where he's like finally playing with Samuel L. Jackson character, his father at the end, and he's like, "Hey, we're taking the training wheels off, like we're going full speed today. Like if you ever gonna beat me," because he could never beat his father, and so that was like
Yeah.
part of it too. And when it like cuts to him and he just starts crying, and it's like it was such a
Yeah.
good ending because like and I like I'm a sucker for a great ending, but it was kind of like because that was finally like because he was trying to be like the strong kid the entire time, and he was
He was
trying to
trying to be
navigate
he was
that
trying
and
to
be
be
the
a
man.
man the
Like,
entire
yeah.
time. Yeah.
And yeah, like he was trying to be the man because they kept telling him like one day you'll be the man, but right now you're too small, like you're too young, but one day you'll
Yeah.
grow up and you'll be the man. And then to see him finally act like a kid because he's not acting like a kid the whole second half of the movie,
Yeah.
it was like devastating. Like it just like hit me so hard. I was like, that's when I was like, God damn, I loved that movie. Like, how did that kid
Yeah.
not get nominated for an Oscar or something for that
I'm
role?
telling you. I'm telling you, dude. Like that movie, I remember I was in San Antonio when I first heard about that movie. I didn't really hear about it in the 90s or early 2000s, but when I was in San Antonio, I had a friend who would always like tell me to watch Fresh, watch Fresh, watch Fresh. And he would say like it was kind of weird. He was like my old guitar player. He was like that's kind of like what my life was growing up or whatever. And I was like, "Wait, what?" And so like I watched Fresh and I was just like, "Oh shit, like you had it hard upbringing, my guy. Like that's kind of rough." But,
Yeah.
like I because I was lucky enough to be, I guess like sheltered in the way that I was sheltered, lucky enough to grow up the way that I grew up. Never really was exposed to like anyone that kind of like lived that type of life. So when I saw that movie and I was like, "Oh shit," like it kind of hit me. I was just like, "Okay, wow, there are people that like actually do kind of grow up like that. That's kind of, like where they have to
Yeah.
be a man at a very, very, very young age." So that it was the same for me. Like after he was trying to be tough, or he was tough, he was a man the entire movie. You know what I mean? He was a little man the entire movie. And then
Yeah.
having that ending happen where he finally breaks down to his father, which is like, that's all he's wanted to do the entire time is be like, "Yo, all this shit's happening. I want to tell my dad about it. I want to
Yeah.
tell my dad about it because I want him to fix it." You know what I'm saying? Like, and he can't do any of that because he's the little man. He's like in a tough situation. Like, yeah, dude, I fucking love that shit. Who was your favorite character and why?
And it's got to be fresh. And then I think
Runner up.
I I really like Esteban, like for as like evil as he is, like it's just like a great character. Like I was totally invested in Giancarlo Esposito's like portrayal of him. Like
Yeah.
I think they're like the two standouts, and like and Sean Nelson, the guy that plays Fresh in the movie, like he's still like acting and he's still like in stuff. Like he still like has had like a good like 20-30 year like acting career. He's not really making like big things, but like based off of that performance, I was like, man, how did that dude not ever like make anything else like really big? Like
Yeah, for real.
um because yeah, I think he was amazing. The dog stuff really got to me too. I don't
Remind me. Was it dog
I'm not
fighting or like?
so there's dog fighting and then he shoots the dog. Um
Mm,
so
yeah.
cuz he's so at first it's his friend Chucky, like
Oh, they
it's
get
his
that
friend
stray dog,
Chucky's
dude.
dog. And
Yeah.
he's like, and they take it to the fight, and he's like, "No, Chucky, like look at this dog. This dog's not like tough enough. Like this dog's not made
Yeah.
for this." And he's like, "No, I've been training him at home. Like you don't see him or whatever." And this dog looks like sweet and innocent and like kind, like just like a dog. And then
Yeah.
and they let it fight this other like vicious pit bull, and but his dog winds up winning because it
Killing
does
it.
like
Yeah.
snap and it like flips the switch and it gets violent. And so then after Chucky gets killed, Fresh goes and takes the dog. And this part was like the hardest part of the movie for me to watch, where
Yeah.
he like strings the dog up basically, and then just goes and gets the gun and comes back out and shoots it. And to me, it was like one that was brutal. I don't even think you can get away with some shit like that anymore because people do not like it when you kill dogs in movies. That's why in John Wick they don't show the dog get killed. Like they
Yeah.
do not
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it when you kill dogs in movies. But it was also kind of like to me, it was like it was him trying to make sure that he was ready to like do what he had to do to like get to where he needed to be. Like he was like that was part of him being like, if you got to pick up a gun and shoot somebody, are you ready to do it? And like he did it to that dog because I think he thought like that dog was innocent and he didn't think that dog was capable of that. And then the dog did that. It murdered another dog, and he was
Yeah.
like, okay, now I don't trust this dog anymore.
See, that's funny that you say that. Like it's like him preparing to actually shoot somebody. Like I never really saw it like that. I think I saw it more of like, I guess I saw it like more of an artistic way. Like this is because that entire movie, I remember thinking because I watched it again recently, and I was just like, this movie is just about the loss of innocence. Like all of it is just the loss of innocence. So like you know how in books like they say like you can have a war against the world or like a war against yourself, but eventually if you are like if the main character is going to be like triumphant, sometimes they have to either have to kill like the big bad thing or they have to kill the thing within themselves that helps them kill the big bad thing. And so
Yeah.
like I saw that and I was just like, oh, this is like him killing because that dog went from innocent to like a murderous dog
Yeah.
immediately. And so like when he killed that dog, I was just like, oh, this is just him killing that innocence that's in himself because he's about to go do some hard
Yeah.
shit. You know what I mean? Like he's about to
Yeah.
go do some super tough stuff. Like, yeah,
Yeah, and I think it's like, and I think it's a little bit of both with that, because then like at the end we still see that like the innocence is still
it's still
there,
there. Yeah, yeah. As much as you
but
may try.
yeah.
Mm.
So, but yeah, I think like 9 out of 10. Like
9
I
out of
loved
10.
it.
9 out of
I think it
10.
was legitimately like so far. I think top to bottom, it was my favorite movie that
My my
you guys
my
have had me
only
watch.
my only regret is that because I had that on my list of movies that I wanted you to watch, but I never said it, and then Ron got to it first, and like Ron probably isn't playing this game, but I've been playing a game with myself, like being like, okay, let me see how many movies I can get that Steven will appreciate. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
like Ron won this round by technicalities, but I mean like still, I know, I know what kind of movies you're into.
So,
Um,
are we picking one for next week, or are we gonna wait for Ron to get back? I guess we kind of need to know so I can try to watch it ahead of time.
um, damn, it would help if I had a movie planned already, but I do not, and I didn't think about that.
Well,
Maybe,
we can save it for Monday and just be
yeah.
like,
Let's save it for Monday.
we have to pick one on Monday.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that, and that way it'll still give me a couple of days to watch it before we got to do it on Wednesday. But yeah, Fresh
For
was
sure.
Fresh was a home run. I was very,
Yeah.
very happy with that this afternoon. So,
Hell yeah, man.
but highly encourage everybody to check it out. It's on Paramount Plus if you've never seen it before. So if you're a Paramount Plus subscriber, go check out Fresh. But that's all I got. So take us home, Osita.
All right. Well, speaking of times when I was getting fresh or trying to get fresh, I was making sweet, sweet love to a redheaded French girl, and didn't quite go as I